Hey guys, it's Reagan, and today I'm going to be talking about how to save Star Wars. So the thing is that Star Wars doesn't really need saving because there's like this huge market for it still, and they're still making a ton of money. But however, Han Solo did not very well compared to all of the other Star Wars movies, and it's not just because it was standalone, because Rogue One did pretty well. And basically, the reasons for that is Star Wars switched their date. Instead of releasing a movie in December, they released a movie in May. Also, there's so many movies that were competing with Solo. I think you still had Infinity War that came out kind of close. I mean, it came out like basically a month ahead. But it's still kind of hard because people have been going to the movies a lot to see Infinity War. Now, remember, movies are kind of expensive. And then you have like Deadpool, and you have all these movies that are kind of going into the same demographic. Also, people didn't really want Solo. It wasn't really a movie that the fans were excited for. There was not very good marketing for it. Their trailers were whatever, but basically, all in all, Solo didn't really do as well as expected. So the way Star Wars could fix that is that, first of all, we know Episode 9 is coming out, I think it's December 20th, 2019. So we know that's when that's coming out. And don't worry, I'm counting down the days. So that movie has to be fantastic. I'm calling J.J. Abrams, and he needs to pull out a banger of a movie. Now, it kind of needs more of like The Force Awakens success, which Force Awakens did amazing. But the thing is that hopefully he doesn't just copy Return of the Jedi like he just copied A New Hope for The Force Awakens. I mean, if you watch those movies back to back, they're the same movie, so there's a reason why everyone liked it. It's because it was very familiar. And they were like, ooh, that's good. I mean, it's the truth though. So that kind of makes sense. So he needs to make an amazing movie. I want to have a film that has lots of Easter eggs. He basically needs a film that people want to see more than once. Solo, I think, was the perfect film where you see it once and then you're like, whatever, I don't need to see it again. Like a lot of other films. But like The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi, they had, even though there's problems with The Last Jedi, there were some sort of appeals where you would want to see that movie more than once to make sure you catch all of the little things. So I want to have like lots of things like that. I want to have Easter eggs. I want it to just be good, okay? So, also, what needs to happen is, you knew I was going to talk about it, Reylo needs to be confirmed in Episode 9. Now, you're like, what do you mean? Well, here's the deal. I will save the Star Wars franchise by myself by seeing that movie so many dang times if Reylo is confirmed. I've been waiting for it for a long time. Also, I think there's a lot of people that are there for it. I think that would add an unexpected element that will make the movie memorable and just epic all around. Like, I don't know, just a twist on Vader's redemption where Kylo gets redeemed. Also, if they do that, if they have like Reylo actually be canon, that will make people like want to watch the previous two movies and like be like, oh, what? See all the notes that all us Reylos have been noticing for a really long time, and just show like little romantic nuances that will be more obvious after it's canon. So that will help with the other movies. But I'm just saying that it should happen. I think that a lot of people would love it. I think even the fans that didn't even like The Last Jedi, they said the best parts were Rey and Kylo. I also want to see an amazing lightsaber battle. I think that, of course, you had in The Last Jedi the Patreon Guard scene. That was amazing after they killed Snoke. That was really good. And people are saying it's like one of the best fight scenes in Star Wars. However, that was not like lightsaber to lightsaber. So like, I don't know. I don't really want Kylo and Rey to fight, but like I kind of do. Like I talked about before in like a Reylo leak or something in my video previously. Or I think I talked about this in the comments. I just kind of want them to fight and be like, what the heck are we fighting for? Like them just like kind of teasing each other and just kicking their butts. Each other's butts. I just want to see that. I don't know. I want Revenge of the Sith epic lightsaber duel. I don't know how that's going to happen, but that's what I want. Also, I think that they just need to up the space battles because like Last Jedi, that space battle was just kind of lame. So like, come on, higher the stakes, you know. I mean, The Last Jedi has some high stakes, but like you weren't really invested in any of those characters, honestly. Because, like, you're like, Poe, like, you like Poe. But then the other ones, you're like, I just met them, so whatever. You know what I'm saying? So I want to see epic. I want to see, like Luke Skywalker taking down the Death Star epic. Like, stuff like that. So then, also, I'll tell you this. The next thing I'm going to talk about is a little sketchy, but this is my thing. So I want Rey to have some connection to Obi-Wan Kenobi. There's been rumors that Ewan McGregor will appear in Episode 9 as the Force Ghost, and some people think, like, oh, it's just about Kylo, but then also teach, like, Rey how to use the Force and just be kind of that teacher that she kind of needs. And so I was thinking about this, and I was, like, thinking about The Force Awakens. And I remember in the theater, my mom and I caught it, like, real quick. It was, Rey, these are your first steps. Of course, by Ewan McGregor. Or, he said, these are your first steps. JJ got that. He added that in very late in production of The Force Awakens. So, they have Alec Guinness saying Rey. And that's part of the, I feel like that's part of the reason her name is just Rey. Because they could easily have Alec Guinness say that. And then having Ewan McGregor say that, that has to have some meaning. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've said this before in my Reylo leaks. Like, I mean, it would be okay if Rey is a nobody, but I also think you're trying to please the fans. You already have The Last Jedi, which ticked people off. You want to throw the fans a bone. And so having Rey's parents kind of be nobodies, whatever, they were just whatever, but her grandfather be Obi-Wan, that would be great. I think a lot of people would appreciate that. I think that would be kind of neat to see that in her origin story. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know the Force isn't all about nepotism, as I talked to somebody before. But I think that they really just need to do it to throw the fans a bone. Also, that would build so much hype if they are still doing the Obi-Wan movies. Now, that's still always up in the air. I've talked about this in, like, so many videos, how I just want Obi-Wan movies. Ewan McGregor, love him. And having Obi-Wan as a Force Ghost and having ties to Rey will make people want to see, like, what did he do when he was on Tatooine all those years? You know what I'm saying? I mean, he was in a little bit of, like, Rebels with, like, Darth Maul, and you kind of saw a little bit of him. But, like, I feel like that would be a great marketing ploy to have, like, a connection, be like, oh, well, this is, like, his granddaughter and blah, 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 but let's talk about how, like, what Obi-Wan was doing. You know what I'm saying? It will make people think and make people excited to see those movies. It will build anticipation. And I think that's something that you need to do. I mean, Marvel's been doing it for a while with their end credit scenes. You have all these epic scenes, like my favorite end credit scene where you have Cap and he has Bucky, his arm cut in a thing, and then you have, I almost want to say Mackie, and then you have Falcon and they're all talking, and it's like hilarious. And there's, like, so much suspense and so much build up for the next film, and you're like, ah. So, like, that is what I feel like. That's the equivalent that Star Wars can do. They don't do end credit scenes, but they can do that. Also, let's talk about a movie that it's been confirmed, a Boba Fett movie. Now, here's the deal. Am I excited about Boba Fett? Not really, because, I mean, like, Boba Fett is kind of this, like, one-dimensional character that's barely been in anything, right? I mean, we've kind of got more of his origin story in the Clone Wars where, like, Jango Fett, blah, 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 and stuff like that, and I'm just kind of like, whatever, Boba Fett, whatever. I know a lot of people love Boba Fett and are excited about it, but I'm like, okay. But what they can do to make it great is they can have it more on Mandalore, which I love Mandalore. I think it's a very interesting place in the Star Wars world. I think it's just fascinating. I like it a lot. And then what they can do is have Death Watch, which I like Death Watch. I think it adds like a extra layer of like suspense. I like how they do things. I like Death Watch, okay? And so they can have it tie in to Solo: A Star Wars Story by having Darth Maul, who's supposed to be like the leader of Death Watch, because he took over it. Having Darth Maul interact and Boba Fett interact with Death Watch. I think that would be great. I think it'll be, I would love that. Like, I mean, I think what we've seen is that, like, that would be an interesting movie, but I think that would make that movie 1,000 times better if they had that, and instead of just kind of like, whatever, Boba Fett on adventures, you know what I'm saying? So, I think that's a great way that they can tie it in and just make it more fascinating. Also, people are talking about this. People say that they want, like, a Darth Vader movie. Now, here's the deal about that. Like, I'm kind of, like, cool with a Darth Vader movie. Like, whatever, you know. Do I really need it? Not really. Like, just see Vader, like, kicking killing a bunch of people. You know, it's kind of hard to focus a movie around the villain, but they can do it really well. Also, it's easy to do because Vader's in the suit the whole time. You can have Hayden be behind the suit, whatever, or you can have somebody else. It doesn't really matter too much because it's behind the suit, and it's just like gonna be voiced anyway, so whatever, that doesn't really matter. So, I mean, they could do that. And I would watch a Vader movie. I think it'd be interesting, like maybe Vader on Mustafar and him training like an apprentice and stuff like that, like where you kind of have more Sith, like kind of more in-depth look at the Sith and kind of as Vader learns more about it. Because you gotta remember, like, he was a Jedi for a long time, but like, I don't know. You want to see like the different ways and how the Sith operate more. You know what I'm saying? Like, that would be kind of interesting. I know some people want like a Yoda movie. I think that would be kind of fun. Just have Yoda, like back in the day before Anakin, like, let's say like 100 years or so before. Just like Yoda, just having fun, like having adventures or something. That'd be kind of interesting. A lot of people like Yoda, and I like him too, so that's whatever. Maybe a fan pleaser at that. Then I think what will happen is, I think because Disney's gonna have like the Game of Thrones runners, like do a Star Wars series, TV series. Also Jon Favreau, who I love him, Iron Man directed Jungle Book, great guy. Like, I love his work. So I think that the TV will be dominated for a while, and then you'll have like 2025. I think they will have another saga trilogy start, because if you look at it, like, there's 10 years between Revenge of the Sith and The Force Awakens, and I think like that would kind of make sense. I mean, it'd be kind of hard because like the way I see them doing another saga films is be that like Kylo and Rey's children, because that makes the most sense, and like having kind of a sibling drama, kind of like the books. But I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what they do with that. I am excited to see what Star Wars does. I'm very excited for episode 9. I've said that a lot, but I am very excited. So hopefully that does not disappoint, and hopefully it brings like the fans back on board. I know there's a lot of people that are like trying to get The Last Jedi remade, they boycotted Solo because The Last Jedi was so bad. And it's crazy. And of course you got Rian Johnson's new trilogy, which I think should kind of be put on the back burner for a little bit. Like, get the Star Wars fans back on board for a little bit. And then you have Rian's trilogy, which is kind of just unrelated to everything going on, like the saga films and what we've seen so far. So it's kind of interesting. But anyway, that's my 2 cents about how to save Star Wars. But yeah, so anyway, thanks guys for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't, and if you like this video, please like it. And then yeah, so thanks guys for watching, and bye.